Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Good. How about you? I'm doing good. Congratulations on Bad Shabbos. Very excited for everyone else to check it out. So my first question is, was there anything about the script or your specific characters in particular where you were like, "Oh hell yeah, I need to do this movie"?
Theo, you want to go first?
E. Let's see. I just think that Adam is just in his frenetic intensity. There was something very crazed about him, but also sweet in a terribly misguided way. How he still wants to be loved and respected by his family, but choosing the most crazed, toxic ways in order to do that. So I think something about the intensity of Adam was really, fun to dig into. It was a very interesting one.
Yeah. I don't for David, I would say it was just like, yeah, getting to play just like a guy. I feel like a lot of the roles I've taken on in my career are pretty over the top. I think right before this, I had shot She-Hulk and I was playing like a toxic masculine billionaire, which is like so over the top. And this was just a way to be like, uh, just a guy trying to get his fiance's family to like his family. And that's a good want. That's a good thing to just like focus on. It was a nice little break from all the craziness.
Do you think it's easier playing the more over the top characters, or does playing the straight man present its own challenges?
Oh, playing the straight man is much harder. I would say getting to be over the top is sort of where I live in my everyday. I'm a ham. So n trying to like unham myself was a fun, you know, part of it.
So what was the vibe like on the set, and was there any room for improv, like amidst like all the zaniness that happens?
Yeah, we had Milana Vaintrub on set, who a lot of people know as the AT&T girl. And she is a pro at improv. Sort of blew us all out of the water. So we were sort of just like always. She was our North Star in terms of like, what do you think? What do you want to do? And she would just bring 1,000 things to the table. But the other cool thing about this script and the other cool thing about this whole process is that Daniel Robbins, the director, is just the most collaborative guy in the world and wants to hear literally everyone's idea, uh, both cast and crew. So there would be a moment we'd be like, we're not sure about this, and he'd be like, all right, let's hunker down, let's figure it out, and let's make sure it's the best possible version. And so there were things we were constantly bringing to the table, both improv and then like before improv, just like small script changes.
Yeah, it was very exciting every time Daniel would come, a little bit sweaty and in with a couple of pages going, okay, okay, what do you think? What do you think? It was very fun to do that. And I think to mention another great improver is Cliff Method Man. I really hope that these clips are available, but there was a couple of takes that he did of going through where he kept his foreskin. And I think there was a great breadth to his imagination there that I hope people will get to see at some point. Do you remember any of like scenes from the maybe the original version of the script that had to be like kind of changed on the fly or anything?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. There were there's like all these like small moments. Like we had to figure out how Adam was gonna keep me from going to call the cops. And I think I pitched to Daniel, I think he should just jump on me. That's a very brother thing to do.
Mhm.
Because I do have a little brother and he does jump on me. And I think at first Daniel was like, all right, we'll get it. We'll just get it so that we can have it. We can make our actors happy. Uh, and I was very happy to see that it made the final cut.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do. I remember you were like, "Jump on me, jump on me." I'm like, "Is okay? Is your back okay?" And you're like, "Dad, do it, do it." And I jumped on. And you're like, "Okay, I'm good, I'm good."
John, you've done several projects about religion, from touring for the Book of Mormon to Miracle Workers to now Bad Shabbos, all of which are very funny. How do you think comedy helps these discussions around religion, and what role it should play in our lives that maybe comedy helps make the loftier themes go down easier, maybe?
I've never made that connection before, Mike. Very cool.
I do my homework.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I watched the movie last night just to like, you know, get like, get the moments in my head and think about it some more. And it was really beautiful for me to just see a movie that treats Judaism so normal. And I think that that's something that both Miracle Workers and the Book of Mormon are sort of like poking fun at the idea of religion, specifically Book of Mormon. Um, but this is sort of just a way to be like, hey, this is just a family like every other family. There's obviously this thing they do every week, uh, but there's something beautiful about that. And there's something really sweet about it. I don't know. I think it's a super sweet movie. But so I guess like the common thread through all of it would be like, you know, I think every single one of them has this like uh unknowing sweetness to it.
And Theo, you've directed a bunch of short films in addition to acting in a bunch of stuff. How do you think directing has impacted how you approach characters, or vice versa? Has, being an actor influenced how you direct when you're behind the camera, and like being maybe more attuned to actors' needs?
Yeah, I mean, good research on that one too. It all, yeah, informs each other in a really cool way. I mean, I think in terms of the way that the directing has infected the acting, and to a certain degree, it really is about learning and digging into those characters and really thinking hard about the motivations and thinking, okay, would I call the police here? Would I not call the police there? It's very tactical and straightforward. And then on the other hand, when the acting infects directing, you really want to give that like space, and I think that was one of the wonderful lessons that I feel like I've taken from Daniel, is like the amount of freedom that he gave us inside of the film with this fantastic structure around us so that we could, move farther into like that sort of improv land that so many of our cast members are so great at, or we could just fall back on that fantastic farcical structure, which was there for us and which is the film. So I think having that sort of that flexibility, but also that strength, was really, really cool, and something that if I can emulate just a fraction of, I will be very happy.
That's so great to hear. I guess what's next for the two of you now that Bad Shabbos is finally coming out in theaters?
Well, I think Theo, you're graduating, right?
I am graduating. Yeah, college is just about over, and I'm finishing up some writing projects and some acting projects that are going to be in the works in a couple of weeks. So yeah.
And yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat, just finishing up some acting and writing projects as well. I have a movie that's on TikTok uh called Carol and Gray. So if you finish this interview and want to go check it out, just search Carol and Gray and you can find a movie that is in 45 parts.
Oh wow.
Uh, but yeah, so that's a fun little thing you can check out.